Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Help for the Guiltless. My name, of course, is Antoine. I love the movies. If I could be paid to be a critic, I would be in hog heaven. I would consider myself a movie aficionado. I love old movies. I love new movies. I love action movies. I love drama. I love comedy. I love romance. I love suspense. I love horror. I love them all. And being kind of a comic book nerd, when Marvel started making comic book movies, I was over the moon. And 2 years ago, they released a list. Now, that list was basically giving us a rundown of all the movies Marvel planned on making all the way up until 2020. One of those movies that was coming out in 2018 piqued my interest. And that's because I've been a fan of the Black Panther forever. And I'm going to state this now for the record. Black Panther can kick Batman's ass. Hashtag fight me, bitches. Anyway, so when I found out that Black Panther was being turned into the movie, I was ecstatic. Then I saw Black Panther in Civil War and lost my shit. He looked amazing. He was badass. They shot him with a .50 caliber rifle off of a helicopter, and he looked at them like, "Bitch, did you really?" And knowing that character was going to be put into a movie, please stop. I can only get so erect. And then, well, the ideologues got a hold of it, and I have spent the last few days rubbing my temples and having a permanent look of what the fuck am I reading look plastered on my face. One particular article was posted on Twitter. You see, Salon, in their infinite wisdom, decided they were going to put their foot very far in their face and start to chew their own toenails. And that's what we're here for. Here's what the critics are saying about Black Panther. It's a masterpiece. The first reviews of the Marvel film are streaming in, and they're better than expected. Now, there was a little bit of a correction that had to be made by Salon before I even get into this. And this is what it says. A February 7th story, here's what the critics are saying about Black Panther, it's a masterpiece, said the Black Panther was the first blockbuster format release featuring a black hero front and center. We've recognized that other black actors have led blockbuster films. We have corrected it to read that Black Panther is centered on an iconic black comic book figure and features a predominantly black cast and has a director and black writers and is being distributed to a wide audience. Okay, so let's get started, shall we? Black Panther. The new Marvel film starring Chadwick Boseman was always going to make history, was always going to be important, was always going to make money. Because Marvel got their shit together and have been churning out blockbuster films for the last 10 years. So yes, it was going to make money, because it's going to be action-packed. But that's not what Salon believes. I'm getting ahead of myself. Much like Wonder Woman was a big-budget, tentpole-style movie wrapped around an iconic female comic book character, Black Panther is centered on an iconic black comic book figure. The film features a predominantly black cast and has a black writer-director, and it's being distributed to a wide audience. There's that correction. Crucially, both arrive a little too late and right on time. Long overdue films featuring figures from marginalized populations released just when those on the margins seem more under attack than they've been in years. How? How have they seemed more under attack than they've been in years? How? Are you talking about the random acts of hate crime that Trump supporters are supposedly doing on the daily? You mean those hate crimes that have been disproven over and over and fucking over again? Tell me, Salon, where are they under attack? Oh, you're not going to cite that, don't worry. Don't worry, we're just going to throw it out there because we can. We need to push the victim narrative as far as we fucking can until it gets rammed down your throat. Marginalized populations, since you can't prove it, well, we'll go with Hitchens' law on this one. What is asserted without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. I see no citations, so we're gonna pass this one by. I'm just gonna call you a moron, and we'll move on to the next paragraph, because you continue to prove that you are. But was Black Panther going to be actually, a good film? With a stellar, deep-benched cast including Lupita Nyong'o, Michael B. Jordan, Angela Bassett, Forrest Whitaker, Letitia Wright, and Danny G. We're going to go with Danny G. I'm not going to try and pronounce that one. With director and script by Ryan Coogler of Fruitvale Station and Creed fame, everything was set up for success. In the end, though, you just never know about these things. I'm going to have a Babe Ruth moment here. I'm going to call my shot. I'm pointing to the left field wall. I'm betting that Salon says, from their title, that this is going to be an overwhelming success. It's going to be the best movie of our time. Millennials everywhere are going to sing its praises, and it's going to win all of the Oscars next year. Because Oscar's so white, of course. So why wouldn't an all-black movie win everything? I'm just calling it now. Now it appears we do. Overwhelmingly, the early reviews for Black Panther have been consistent in their praise, with some calling it a Marvel movie masterpiece, the best entry from the studio so far, and the superhero film America needed just when it needed it most. Damn, I'm even more hyped to go see this movie now. I already understood that, forgive the vernacular, Black Panther was going to be lit, fam. But that tagline actually makes me want to go see it. Its performances, direction, world building, visuals, and more have all been lauded in a growing tide of reviews that should put all those alt-right efforts to tank its Rotten Tomatoes score in the dust. Indeed, it's currently holding strong at 100%. That's a lot to take in. Let's take a look at that first link, the alt-right efforts to tank its Rotten Tomatoes score. It's from The Guardian. Of course, they're going to link to The Guardian, but The Guardian kind of shows Salon that they're wrong. Claws out how Black Panther fought off a toxic Ghostbusters-style online campaign. Now, I'm not going to go through this entire article. I'm just going to read you this first paragraph, because it kind of debunks everything. You come at the king. You best not miss. Last week, an attempt to maliciously derail the record-setting rollout of Black Panther, Marvel's upcoming blockbuster spotlighting the lithe warrior monarch T'Challa, ooh, good word usage, was itself promptly derailed. A scurrilous Facebook event page, whose stated purpose was to give Black Panther a rotten audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, purported to be a grassroots protest against Disney and its treatment of franchises and its fanboys, amid garbled claims that the corporation that owns Marvel had somehow paid off critics to trash the recent crop of superhero movies from their long-standing rival DC. The page organizers encouraged the use of hashtags like #DownWithDisney and #DCOverMarvel as social media rallying points. All praise to The Guardian in one definitive paragraph that Salon linked as proof to alt-right racists trying to destroy Black Panther. We have Disney haters and DC fanboys. Okay, Salon. One, you've already had to make a correction. Your best bet right now is to just take down the article. Seriously. Because your other social justice wannabe newspaper rag proved you wrong in a paragraph. So suddenly people who are against Disney and the treatment of its franchises are alt-right. This just goes to show that anyone who is right of center is considered alt-right to you people. DC fanboys have had the tinfoil hat theory since Man of Steel came out, that Marvel has been paying off critics to tank reviews. Salon, and more importantly, Gabriel Bell, Do you know what evidence is? Do you know what research is? Do you happen to know how to look up the citations? Or, even better, do you have any fucking reading comprehension at all? Because if you did, this garbage article that is mostly just reviews to show how amazing Black Panther is would never have been written, and I wouldn't be wasting my time on you. Now, I could go into the history of Black Panther being written by two white authors when he first came out, or that he's an established Marvel hero, or that the fact that Black Panther, before it became T'Challa, was one of the most bigoted and racist characters there are, because all he cared about were the people from Wakanda. It didn't matter if you were African. If you were from Wakanda, you were better than anyone else. That's why anybody who went into Wakanda never came out. But that's fine. I understand you don't pay attention to comics. You don't pay attention to history. You probably can't name more than, 5 black superheroes. As for this being a blockbuster and why they had to change what they said, is because in their original tweet that they got blown the fuck out so hard that they had to delete it or move on to another one. They were claiming that Black Panther was the first black superhero that was a box office smash, discrediting things like Hancock, Blade, Spawn, hell, even recently, Luke Cage. They've also stated in articles beforehand that Black Panther is the only black superhero to ever exist, because you have to remember, when people like Gabriel Bell actually write a story, they're so fucking young they don't understand that movies actually existed before the year 2000. Blade was so fucking popular that it got 2 sequels, a made-for-TV movie, and a horrible television series that was cancelled 6 episodes in. It was so popular that they're in talks right now to revamp it. No pun intended. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that the only instances of Black Panther that you actually know are from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I can almost guarantee you haven't even watched the cartoons that he's been in. So all you know right now is from what we got from Captain America Civil War, which wasn't a lot. Oh, he was a badass motherfucker in it. But you don't understand anything about the character. And I almost can guarantee that you haven't seen the film yet, since you haven't said anything about it. You're just giving us examples of other reviewers. I'm not going to go through them because they are all stupendous reviews. But I do want to touch on a couple things. One, as of right now, that perfect 100 score has been tainted by one brave soul who has decided to give it a bad score. The shit that is about to hit his Twitter is going to be legendary. If you want, I will link the page below. You can go watch the destruction of his Twitter in real time. Here's the problem. And I'm not even going to talk about the hashtag what does Black Panther mean to me. Here's the problem that is coming with this movie. One, being so hyped up, there's no possible way that it could live up to the expectations of the people that are believing the hype. Two, it's being pushed as a racially motivated movie. It's an all-black cast, a black writer-director. It's got black power written all over it. There are people on Twitter and people on Facebook that are saying, if you're white, do not say anything about this movie. You cannot criticize it. Which puts normal moviegoers in a bad position, because now they can't say that they hate it because they're going to be labeled a racist. So it backs people into a corner. Calling it a masterpiece? How is it a masterpiece? No one's seen it yet. It comes out next Friday, 2 days after Valentine's Day. What makes it a masterpiece besides your own personal opinion? Now, I plan to still go see this fucking movie. And you know what? I may even do a review of it. Why? Well, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm allowed to talk about this movie. I'm black from the waist down. It doesn't matter. I'm going to talk about the movie anyway. And damn anyone who tells me I can't. I can have an opinion about this fucking movie just because I'm able to have an opinion. And anyone on Twitter, on Facebook, in these comments, who tells me I can't talk about something? You're not prepared for the fact I'm going to destroy you. No one knows if this movie is going to be a masterpiece yet or not. I'm not saying it's going to flop. I'm not saying it's going to be a blockbuster. What I do know is that it's going to be one hell of a movie. So, Salon, I have some advice for you. And it's not just Salon, it's more Gabriel Bell. Before you write an article, or should I say, before you shove your head so far up your own ass and smell your own farts because you're so woke, maybe, just maybe, wait till it comes out and then give your actual opinion on it.
And those are my thoughts, folks. I'd love to know yours. Please let me know in the comments. If you like what I do here, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And if you do subscribe, hit that little bell icon so you know when I upload. If you'd like to support the channel, there are 2 links down below. One leads to Patreon, where there are different reward tiers that you can peruse, and the other is for PayPal, for those who don't want to go through Patreon. All of the links to follow me on all of the social medias, including my Discord, are down below. So with all that being said, this has been Help for the Guildless. My name, once again, is Antoine, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening.